Hello Virgo, this is Joe, and we're going to do your July 2020 General Tarot reading. This is an intuitive reading. It won't be for everybody, but you'll know if it's for you. You'll feel something. You'll intuitively know this is a message for you. I've already shuffled the cards, so we're going to get right to it and do a spread and see what is going on in July. This could be about any topic, so we'll see what is happening. The Empress. All right, interesting. Knight of the King of Coins, sorry, crossing you. I do have a little bit of glare this time of day with the sunlight in the morning, so I apologize. Ooh, Five of Wands. Taurus had the Five of Wands. But this is in your subconscious. This is not a literal conflict, it doesn't look like to me. Ooh, Two Cups. Not the direction I thought this was going to go, but nice. Okay, so you have the Virgo, you have the soulmate card, you have the friendship card, and you have the Empress. So some of you might be pregnant, or your partner might be pregnant, or you might be trying to get pregnant. Strength. So you're coming from a place of determination. In June, going into July, you have you have that very powerful feeling of empowerment and being sure of yourself, even when things don't always look that way. No matter what, you are driven with a good amount of strength. Nine of Wands. Okay. So some of you are fighting for something for sure. And this doesn't have to be, this isn't to me a literal fight. This is probably, along the lines of a disagreement. Seven of Cups comes out again. That's a stalker card. It's been stalking me in readings here sometimes lately. Okay, that is in your advice. What is in your influences? Four of Cups. Okay, very neat. The Hermit and your hopes and fears. And Death in the outcome. So I think that's good, actually. That's a good sign that there is an ending to whatever conflict you have. You have the Five of Cups and the overall. So you definitely have been going through, Virgo. This to me is definitely about your partner. This is about your soulmate, or this could be even deeper than that. There'd be twin souls, twin flame. But nonetheless, this is about somebody that you love very much. So there's been a little bit of conflict here when it comes to your relationship. And this conflict to me is probably around what it is that you both want moving forward in your relationship. And so one of you probably wants children, and the other one might not be so sure, might be on the fence about it. And so this is coming through as, to me, is coming through as a struggle. But this Five of Cups is to me an overdone kind of feeling. Like this is being a little overly emotional about it, and that being overly emotional is probably something that has been a drag. This could be you, this could be your partner, but either way, somebody has been maybe a little bit overly emotional, and it's made things a little bit hard to see things clearly. You do have strength, so this strength is to me representing your will and determination to somehow get through this in a way that both people can be happy. The Empress here to me is about that fertility. It is about wanting children. It is about wanting a home life. And I think that this here is definitely very much about the struggle to kind of convince somebody. And this may not even be about convincing. This might be all about worry that that's not what they want. It's not something that they are interested in this time. Or this could be very much that there is a pregnancy. And that pregnancy, you might be afraid, if you are a female, to communicate that to your partner. Or if you are a male, you might be a little bit unsure of the news if that has come through. And so there is definitely a little bit of worry here. How I think there's this missed communication. There's this kind of lost in translation feeling that maybe things aren't being communicated properly. And so when that happens, we're not always sure about what people think and feel. And so there is this like feeling of worry that there's this conflict, but this conflict really isn't there. It isn't present. I think this is a lot about processing how one feels in the situation, and really zeroing in on things to really decide, really kind of come to terms with what it is that you want or your partner may want, and how they want to proceed. I think this is a lot about pregnancy. It's a lot about having a child or children, and it's big news. It's big change. It's a big shakeup, and there has been some struggle. But I think this is pushing through in July, and I think things finally kind of settle down when when there's this understanding that has to happen. The Hermit to me is about having understanding in this, and I think we're going to have to clarify some of this. But you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups. The Four of Cups to me is kind of represents not being sure of things, because there is this feeling of worry, and it also comes through in the Seven of Cups, just being worried. But I think the Seven of Cups is in the position it's in is saying to not to overthink or overimagine things that aren't true or real. So if you're thinking, over imagining, or letting your imagination run wild, that may be just causing you more unnecessary grief, and just adding to the feeling of maybe hopelessness here in this. But there's no reason to be hopeless, because you have the Hermit, and after the Hermit comes through, you have the Death card. The Death card is an end to the situation when it comes to the negative effects, or the negative things that have been kind of causing a little bit of disruption. And I see the Death card is positive. The Death card is coming through as saying, okay, this is this part of this situation is over, so now you can proceed with a new beginning, and that new beginning can go any way that you want it to. You have the King of Coins here crossing you. So there is a lot of determination and a lot of desire for what it is that you want. It's a focus, it's an understanding, and it's, to you, the biggest probably concern or worry is how to achieve that. But I think we're going to clarify some of this, because I think the first card that I want to look at is the Death card, because to me that's the biggest mystery in this. But that's to me, the Death card in this is about positive change, because any uncertainty, any worries and fears seem to come to an end, and it comes right after the Hermit. So I think that is a great sign how that kind of works out. So you probably do want your partner to look at things differently, and to take some time to really think about things. And I think that does happen. Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is actually for clarifying the Death card. So this is, to me, this is an ending of those times where there's just uncertainty, there's worry, there's anxiety, and I think the Death card is bringing an end to that. It's not saying that that is the Nine of Swords is the outcome. It's saying that Death is saying that that's an end to the worry, the grief, the struggle, the delays. Eight of Wands, and see, that is moving forward. That's forward movement. That is going in the right direction. That is heading in the direction that you want to go in, it looks like. So there is this ending and a new beginning. And I don't even feel like it's really a new beginning. It's just picking up where you left off. It really is what happens. So there's this hang up. So if you are in a relationship and you're dealing with that dynamic of pregnancy, having children, or wanting to have children, there is a little bit of worry about this. There's a little bit of worry of how that's going to go over. But I think it does finally settle down. I think some of this is more about you being worried, Virgo, more than it is your partner being worried, and probably thinking about things a little too much, being worried a little too much. But you have the Strength card, so that Strength card is a positive force that kind of carries you through this. It helps you work through this and process this, and it brings in better communication, because I feel like there's been a limit in the communication in this area, and it kind of comes through that there really isn't a good, clear line of communication. So I think the Hermit is also about that, about establishing a clear line of communication after figuring out how you want to approach things, how you want to handle things. And I think that Death card is all about that happening, that this kind of goes away in July, the worry, the anxiety, and then you move into a direction that you want to head in. And I think that's good. So let's see. What do you have? Milk and honey. I did say you're heading in the direction you want to go in. So this is about that abundance. It's about fertility. It's also about the home life and the happiness and the joy that the home life can bring your way. And it's about receiving abundance. This is an abundance of happiness and joy. And this is, I think, saying to keep focused, that this is what you want. You want to eventually be in this place where things feel good. They feel comfortable. They feel abundant. They feel peaceful. And there aren't really worries about where things are going to come from and how you're going to get from point A to point B. Everything will be okay, and everything will work out in the way that it feels just so much lighter, and it feels so much better. And I can see that coming through once this is worked through. Here and now. So let go of the past and stop worrying about the future. Be in the moment, and being in the moment is your biggest tool that you have at your disposal to work through this. Being in the moment is how you manifest. You can't manifest thinking about the past and manifest thinking about the future. You could only do that by being in the moment. So you want to get to this place of abundance, of rest, of calm, and that's going to happen. But that is really saying to do that by being in the moment, and not having all that worry, especially over the future. The future is like the biggest worry in this, and it's let go of that, and have an understanding that everything will work out and everything will be okay, Virgo. I think this is just a little bump in the road, but I think a lot of this is a much ado about nothing, that it isn't as big or as monumental as you might be worrying about. It's not as tough, that it's just more of the overwhelming feeling of not understanding or knowing how your partner is going to respond to this coming through in your life at this time. It just is one of those things. It's probably unexpected. So I do, very very, very, very much feel like this is about fertility, trying to have a baby, or an actual pregnancy coming through in July for many of you, or the discussion is there about wanting to have children and a family. So with that said, Virgo, this is your reading for July. This is an interesting read. You know, it's going to be all right. It's kind of there is this kind of feeling of calm that does come in, and I think it's going to be okay. So that's your reading. Please let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know if this is you. I would like to hear about it. And with that, I'm going to say have a great rest of your day.